Before we get started today, don't forget to check out ASTKilo23 Haters, the new channel, and the new Facebook. It's under ASTKilo23 on Facebook.com. Hey guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23, the deluded man-child, as some people say. Today we're going to be checking out the G&G FS51. Now, I am fixing this thing out for a friend. It was blowing some fuses, but it's working alright now. It's a pretty consistent rifle. G&G really does make top-notch guns for their money. Excellent, excellent build. Now, normally this guy's going to go for about $270 to $280. In my opinion, that's a great deal. It's worth every penny. Now, the gun is pretty light. It's only about 6-7 pounds, even though it does have a full metal body, cocking tube, and all that other good stuff. It does even include a scope rail mount here, so if you want to mount a dot sight of some kind, you're very welcome to. You have the ability to. This is included, so you don't have to pay $25-30 extra for this thing, so that's a great deal right there. Now, we got quite a bit to talk about with this gun, so let's get down on the table and start checking it out. Now, for you H&K fans out there, this gun is excellent. It does not disappoint. Weighs about 6 or 7 pounds, and G&G is top-notch quality. Now, the G&G FS51 is very similar to other G3s and MP5s. So if you guys own another G3 or, oddly enough, an MP5, you're probably very used to working on these kinds of guns. Very similar operation. Let's go ahead and start with the stock, and I'll show you guys how to get the battery in there. Just like any other full stock, you press the slide down there, and you have a large type Tamiya connector. You got a fuse in there too. It's got some decent 16 gauge wiring. To reinstall the plate, simply press it on and press it upward. Now let's move up the gun a bit to the receiver section. The lower receiver and pistol grip are both excellent quality plastic. It does have a great texture, so it's not going to slip out of your hand, and it's very, very comfortable. It's nearly identical to the MP5 style pistol grip and lower, but it's the selector switch is like the old style MP5. You got safe, semi, and full auto all the way down. Clicks into place very nicely. You can see these little notches here. It will stay in place. You're not going to bump it out by accident. The rear sight is nearly identical to any MP5. It swivels around. It's just a regular old basket sight, and it stays in place pretty nicely. I've got an ICS MP5, and it can just about wiggle free on its own. So the basket sight on this thing staying put and firm is very, very nice. Now, the gun does include a claw-style rail mount. It'll fit on the top of the style G3. This will also work on other MP5s and such. It's great. These things run about $25 or $30, so the fact that this comes with one is just excellent. It saves you a little bit of money right there. Plus, you can mount a dot sight or a small scope right off the bat. Now, the selector switch is not ambidextrous, but when you go to safe, semi, and full auto, the right side of the selector actually follows along. Unlike most M4s and stuff like that, this thing is a little more realistic in that sense. Now, the hop-up chamber, as usual, is right behind the dust cover. Simply pull the charging handle back and lock it into place. It does lock very nicely. It's got a pretty stiff spring behind it, like most G3 series guns. You've got your standard G3 hop-up system in here. It is all plastic, but G&G makes excellent quality plastic hop-up chambers. I would not upgrade this thing for the world. It is just spot on excellent. Now, I've noticed the wheel in here is a little loose, so maybe if you get this gun, you might want to put a larger O-ring under it, so it'll help it to stay in place like some G36 series guns have. Moving up the gun a little bit to the handguard and cocking tube, we have the bolt here. I've already got locked back from when I had the hop-up open. Go ahead and release that. It's very, very loud. You click this thing, it's extremely satisfying to pull back and let go. Now, you do have a front sling mount on the bottom here. This corresponds with the one on the bottom of the stock on the back. Also has a metal front sight here. It's excellent, but it does not adjust in any way, so you can only adjust the rear sight, which is, airsoft, not that big of a deal. Real gun, it might be a little more of a big issue. Now, the flash hider it comes with is metal, thank the Lord. I hate getting those guns where it comes with a plastic orange flash hider and you just got to replace the whole thing because the plastic's really cheap. And if you drop it on the ground for any reason, it'll shatter. But the fact that this is metal is just a big plus right there. You don't have to spend $25-30 again on another flash hider. Now, it does have the bright orange paint like most G&G guns do, but you can paint over that. It's not really that big a deal. Just get some good spray paint. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot or any other hardware supply store, and they'll probably have a good spray paint for you. Now, the final thing we're going to touch on the exterior of this gun is the high-capacity magazine. It's a 500 round high cap, feeds very nicely, holds a load of ammo, so you only need like maybe 2 or 3 of these if you're going to go play a field game for the day. These things last forever, assuming you conserve your ammo and don't go crazy with full auto. Now, the one thing I did not like is the fact that the magazine wobbles like crazy. Now, because of the design of the G3 magazine, it is hard to put electrical tape on the outside of the mag, so that kind of leaves you with one option, putting it on the inside of the mag well. Not my favorite choice, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Now, G&G does not overlook anything internally either. You've got a 6.04 tight bore barrel in this thing, which is included in all G&G Pro line guns. Let's go ahead and chrono with some .2 gram rounds. Shooting very consistently around 360 feet per second leads me to believe there is about an M110 spring in there probably. Now let's go ahead and check the rounds per second on a 9.6 volt PEC box battery. Getting about 12, 13 rounds a second. So, because of this weapon's size, it is pretty large. You know, shouldering it, you really have to reach out here. It's sort of like handling a Thompson N1A1. It's actually pretty large, even though it looks moderately small. I would have to call this a field rifle. I wouldn't say this is a great CQB weapon. I haven't gotten a chance to range test it yet, but with a 6.04 tight bore barrel and 360 feet per second, I can assume it probably has at least a good range of 150 feet to a man-sized target. Now, sadly, I am not going to show you guys the internals of this gun. I don't have to do any internal work for it for my buddy, so I'm going to have to stick with what's seen in this review. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, can I fit a 9.6 volt large type battery in this stock? The answer is yes. I tried an 8.4 in here, and I had plenty of room to fit that extra cell on the end of the 9.6. So if you guys want to put a 9.6 volt large type battery in here, it will fit. So, hey, go for it. The extra rate of fire is great. Well, that about wraps it up for the G&G FS51. Thanks for watching. I'm Prodigy, the deluded manchild, from Airsoft Team Kilo23, signing off.